Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Fan Cave Podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Bludorn. It is glad to be back. I know I missed on Friday. Thank you to Blake Stidham for filling in and for my absence. I was in Mexico. The internet was absolutely horrible in Mexico. I had no chance to be able to even. Us three tried to go back and forth trying to figure it out, and I didn't even know we went live once, and I didn't even know we went live. Like, that's how bad it was. But thank you again for Blake Stidham for filling in. To my top right, we have the Southern gentleman himself, Mr. Landon Stidham. And to the top left, I refer to him as the light-skinned champion, the one and only Debo Mills, Dylan Bosch. How we doing, fellas?
What's popping? What's happening, boys?
Hey, boys. How about week one in NFL football? Was it not incredible this week to have football back, have the best of the best going after it with each other? I'm super hyped for it. We'll get into that here in a bit, but I want to start with one thing that's near and dear, I know, to Debo's heart and a lot of people in the Midwest, including myself. Nebraska legend Scott Frost gets canned. Oh, Debo, I know it hurts, but I know we were all kind of thinking he wanted to go. We wanted him gone because it was atrocious. It was absolutely horrendous how bad of a coach he was. We never won more than 5 games in a season. His record was 16-31, and at Nebraska, that ain't gonna cut it. 10-26 in Big Ten play, that ain't gonna cut it. Debo, what are your thoughts on the Scott Frost firing?
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but kind of saw it coming. Like, yeah. You can't lose those games. You got to win those games, and at some point, you just gotta. Like it seems like he's had an excuse every season on why they haven't been successful. At some point, you just got to put that roster together and win games.
For sure, it's crazy, man. I remember I've been watching the last few games, last couple of years, and every time like something goes wrong or something happens, every time they cut to him on the sideline, he's never coaching anybody. He's never like in it with his players. He's never like hyping people up, trying to help people. He's always just standing there, arms crossed, just looking at the sideline, looking at the stadium, just kind of like just straight face. Never really coaching, never really doing anything. He just kind of is like, it's like he's a face of the franchise, but he's not not doing anything. I swear I don't know. He just didn't seem like he was in it. I don't think he really cared after the success was fading. I kind of feel like he didn't really care anymore.
100%, I agree. Definitely. Yeah.
I kind of think we all saw it coming. The one thing that was awesome, I think, was the buyout. It was $15 million. If they wait 3 months, it's less than half of that. That's how bad Nebraska, wanted him out. And I mean, if you watched the first quarter and a half of Nebraska's season, you would not think 3 weeks later that Scott Foster would get canned. You would not think it.
No.
But with the Northwestern game and close game with North Texas, and then losing today, I think tough situation. I know there's a lot of very popular names getting thrown around in the mix, and I think it's awesome. I would love to see Urban Meyer back in college football. I know a lot of people are not big fans of Urban Meyer, but the dude makes it fun. He does.
Hey, sorority girls in Lincoln, watch out. That's all I'm going to say. But no, man. Honestly, he's a legend in the sport. I mean, if it happens, it happens. I mean, there's some other names. Who were some of the names you saw? I
saw Bill O'Brien. They offer him.
Is he still the OC at Alabama?
Yeah, Mark Stoops. Basically, they're going to go for guys who are good coaches at programs that are not football schools. Nebraska is, at the end of the day, it's like Alabama. It's always going to be a football school.
Slight shot of Kentucky there. I see you. But anyway.
Or Kentucky, or they're going to go for popular OCs, Yeah. I would be surprised if you see schools with Appalachian State, teams like that who maybe their schools are smaller and the coaches are good. And it's kind of like with the whole Brian Kelly thing, man, They want to get big. Coaches want to get bigger. They want to play the best of the best. So I would look for a smaller school coach or maybe even a coordinator in a D1 program.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, it was kind of overdue. We kind of knew it was coming. A loss to Georgia Southern. It sucks that it's like the last game on his resume because he is such a legend as a player at Nebraska. But it was time. It was past time. And yeah, I'm glad to see. Good riddance to you, and bring on the next one.
He's not sad. He's got $15 million. I don't feel bad for him at all.
Yeah, right. I don't think he feels all that bad either after he's getting paid.
How long do you think PJ Flex got in Minnesota?
Bro, he's turning them around. He keeps getting extended every.
I like PJ Fleck a lot.
They love him there, dude. He is like the face of Minnesota. They love him there.
He's good. Listen, look, if last year the running back doesn't get, or was it last year before the running back doesn't get hurt?
Yeah, Ibrahim. They were in it with Ohio State, ready to beat them until Ibrahim went down last year, week 1.
I'm going to jump into some of these topics though. I feel like
there's
a lot to talk about.
Here we go. We're bringing back one of my favorites, buy or sell college football.
Let's do it.
It's my personal favorites. Number 1 on the buy or sell. Will Notre Dame finish the season in the top 25 after having 2 losses already on the season? Landon, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's still Notre Dame at the end of the day. To be ranked, you can still have 5 losses to be ranked. Now Notre Dame, I don't think they're going to lose many games like they did Saturday. It was if you watch the game, it was a very weird game, and it's a brand new coach. They're still trying to figure it out. But at the end of the day, it's Notre Dame. They have a really easy schedule, So I mean, they could easily win out, and no one would be surprised. Maybe a loss to USC. Outside of that, I could see them winning every other game on the schedule.
What about you, Debo?
No.
Are you buying or selling Notre Dame finishing top 25?
I'm selling that. I don't believe that. Not at all. I've never been high on Notre Dame. I don't know, especially not this season, bro.
Who's going to beat them though? That's the thing.
They have 3 tough games left. I mean, they got BYU.
I know they got beat. They have the only tough games I know is they have USC. They have at BYU. They have a game at North Carolina, and they host Clemson.
Yeah, I mean, those are 3 or 4 decent games.
If they win 2 of those.
But honestly, you got to think like college football is so much more balanced out now, especially because of NIL stuff. Like San Diego State, like held it in there in their game today. They shouldn't even.
I would be surprised if Notre Dame went into North Carolina and won. If they win 2 of those 4 games, they're going to be ranked because everyone expects them to lose to Clemson and USC. BYU, I don't know. I don't think any of us know much about BYU. Kind of reminds me of Cincinnati last year, but we'll talk more about them in a minute.
I don't think they're going to make it in, only because I see a couple more Group 5 teams getting in later on in the year, and I think that's when it's going to run out. And I think they're going to have 4 losses on their schedule, and I don't think they're going to make it in. Now, if they only lose one more of those games out of the 3 or 4 we mentioned, then absolutely they get in. But if they lose 2 more, they're right on that bubble, and then here comes the Group 5 teams that are sitting at 20-21. That it's like Coastal Carolina. If one of them gets in again, I think that bumps Notre Dame out. All right, second part of buy or sell. Is Kentucky in contention for the SEC East? Are they that team? Can they give Georgia a game? Landon, what do you think?
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, yeah, they're in contention because they're the only team in the East, I think, with a winning record, like in the conference. No one else has played a conference game. So South Carolina's 0-1 and Florida's 0-1. So, yeah, they're in contention. It's them, Tennessee, and Georgia. Everybody knows that. Tennessee went on the road at Pitt and won in a very tough environment. That's a very confident Pitt team. They just beat West Virginia at a big rivalry game. But looking at Kentucky's schedule, they still got to go to Ole Miss, and we all know how Kiffin is. Kiffin knows how to draw stuff up. Outside of that, I mean, really, you got to go to Tennessee, and it's hard to win a Rocky Top, especially when you've had trouble there the past, couple of years. I think last year they may have gotten, but these before that, it's not been a consistent thing. And then, they host Georgia, which is a good sign. But outside of that, they have to go to Tennessee, home against Georgia. I think they have a good chance. But, I mean, it's the favorite's still Georgia. The contenders, as long until you knock off the big dog, you're not going to be the favorite. Even if you go to Florida and win, it doesn't matter. Georgia's still the favorite. And, Tennessee and Kentucky, they're very, very neck and neck. But I might give Kentucky the edge because of the big win at Florida this weekend.
What about you, Debo?
I mean, yeah, if you want to call it top 3 contention, but we really know Georgia's kind of got SEC East on lock. But yeah.
I agree they're in it for sure. I think they're the next man up behind Georgia. But I don't want to I don't want to lower this win. I mean, they beat a good Florida team for the second year in a row. I don't know if you guys have seen social media since the win. Kentucky's erupting. I'm not sure why they're erupting so much. I mean, yeah, it's a big win, but they got people flipping over cars. I mean, it's Kentucky's mayhem right now. Lexington's nuts right now. It's going.
I think most of them realized they had a football team. I don't know. I don't think they knew it. So I think they didn't know it. I mean, figure it out. They're not going undefeated. I saw an analyst today who picked them to go undefeated and not go undefeated. I don't think they can beat Georgia. You know, dude, man, listen, Georgia's good. Georgia,
they're really good.
One of his strengths is that run game. Will Levis is a good quarterback. One of the strengths is that run game, and there's nobody who can play it better than Georgia right now. That defense is nice and it looks good, but it's tough, man. Winning the SEC is gonna be hard because you got to go through Georgia. You have to go around them. You have to go through them.
Facts.
Yeah, no, definitely, absolutely. Moving over to the Big Ten, this question makes my day. It livens me up. Will the Minnesota Gophers win the Big Ten West? I'm going first because I got a lot to say. Every single year, for Minnesota fans, it comes down to this. Everybody thinks Nebraska's going to beat them. They never do. So they mollywop Nebraska in the Big Ten West. Purdue or Western, one of those two teams always gives them a game. They got to take care of that game. I think they got that this year. But it always comes down to beating two opponents every single year. Can they beat Iowa? Can they beat Wisconsin in the same season? This year, Iowa looks like the worst football team offensively in the Power Five.
Yeah.
And Wisconsin just lost to Washington State, who I don't think they knew they had a football program either. Once Mike Leach left. This year, I'm right. Minnesota is going to dominate Big Ten West this year. They're going to go undefeated in the Big Ten West this year, and they are going to make the Big Ten championship game and give Ohio State a heck of a football game this year.
Okay, you said give them a
game.
game.
Prove me wrong, boys. Prove me wrong, Landon. Let's see what you got to say. I'm on the hype. You know.
I have one thing wrong with that statement. One thing I disagree with.
They're not going to go undefeated. Is that what you're saying?
I think two things maybe. Let me walk through you with it. Okay. Next week they host Colorado. I think that's we're gonna trump that W. The tough games we're looking at. Okay. You got a Saturday game at Michigan State. You know, I assume that's going to be a not game, knowing it's an undefeated team coming to Michigan State. If they beat Michigan State on the road, there's no Michigan, there's no Ohio State in the regular season. That's a win for Minnesota. That's like standing. It's like being in the SEC and not having to play Bama or Georgia.
No Penn State, I know.
Well, they have to go on the road to Penn State.
Oh, they do. I'm sorry, I had that wrong.
They host Purdue. They go to Illinois. I think they can beat Illinois. I've watched Illinois. Illinois is good. I think they can beat Illinois. They go to Penn State, which is a tough place to play.
That's right. Okay, yeah, that's right.
We'll know how good Penn State is this
week. That's still in the East, though. They can suffer one loss in the East, but they're not going to. But yeah.
But they host Rutgers. Enter to Nebraska, not worried about it. Host Notre Dame, not worried about it. Host Iowa, not worried about it. At Wisconsin game, at Penn State, and at Michigan. If they can win those three road games, then yes, I think they can win. I think those things I look at that are tough. At the end of the day, it's like, you know, in contention with, you know, their conference. Penn State's not with them. The only thing they have to beat really is Wisconsin is the only team that looks like they can actually, you know. And guess what? Wisconsin has to play Ohio State. Wisconsin has to go on the road to Michigan State.
Yeah.
I think everything about your statement is true. I'll take Minnesota to win out, go undefeated, and play in the conference championship game against Michigan.
And Ibrahim will go off for 4 touchdowns, and that will be in the cut. No, I can't say that.
Not against Ohio State. They're playing against Michigan. I'll make sure you.
Okay.
They're not playing Ohio State. They're playing Michigan.
Okay. Debo, what you got?
Yeah, I think they do. Like you said, they just got to beat Iowa and they got to beat Wisconsin. I I was looking bad this year. I was not looking.
How big is the road game at Michigan State and at Penn State? Can they afford to lose? They have to win one of those, right?
I agree. Yep.
They have to win one of those. They can't lose both.
They can't lose both. They can't.
Michigan State's undefeated, right?
Yeah. If you beat Michigan State in 2 weeks, I mean, I think they got it.
I haven't really got to watch Michigan State. Have they been looking good? I actually haven't really got to see them.
They're defeated. I don't think they really played anybody yet, but
yeah, they played two. Yeah, like bad.
Mel Tucker's good. Mel Tucker is a very good coach. So
absolutely,
we'll see. But so is PJ Fleck. I think it's fun that it's a even out conference.
I love PJ Fleck. He turned around a program that hasn't been good since 1960. I know they're not like elite, but like they're good. Like they are with him there, 2019 can happen this year. You know what I mean? He gives them hope, and he has a strategy, and he has he changes the program. He gets everybody put their oars in the water, and they start rolling, baby. I mean, I'm telling you, Minnesota. I'm high on them, but I'm the most biased guy because look what I'm wearing right now. But Minnesota, watch them come out of the Big Ten West. I think they got to win one of the two games for sure, but it's going to come down to the last game of the year, rivalry week. Minnesota always plays Wisconsin for the Axe, for Paul Bunyan's Axe. If they win that game, I think they're good to go.
Okay, what we got next?
Here we go. BYU.
Okay.
The Cincinnati of this year, we'll find out. Will they make the college football playoff? Debo, what do you think? Are you high on BYU this year?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's BYU, bro. BYU, Notre Dame, just throw them together, just tossing them out. Maybe I'm sleeping on them, but I don't even know who they're. I couldn't even name 3 players in the roster, dude.
Yeah, I feel
that.
I stayed up to watch this game because it was a night game. And here's what really
beat my Bears.
I think, is Baylor was plus 125. BYU's favorite at home. I was just like, this is a weird game, you know?
Yeah.
I watched it. BYU's good. Now Baylor had their chances. Here's what I think. Next week, BYU goes to Oregon. I think they'll beat Oregon at Oregon. I do. But they do host Notre Dame.
Arkansas.
Here's the thing is they only have 2 hard games the rest of the year against ranked teams, I would say. They're going to have Oregon, Notre Dame, who's not really ranked, host them. But the game that I look at most is October 15th. They're hosting Arkansas.
Yeah.
Now, Cincinnati just gave Arkansas a game. Cincinnati played tight. If BYU can beat Arkansas, yes. Ask me October 16th. Can they make it? If they beat Arkansas, I'll say yes. Right now, I got to say no. Arkansas is good. I think if you have one loss, you're out if you're on the Power 5. Just the way Bama, Georgia, because you're going to take a one-loss BYU or a one-loss Bama or Georgia, whoever loses in the SEC championship, you know? Or a one-loss Michigan State or Michigan, you know? But, yeah, I'm going to sell it for now. October 15th, I might get back on that. We'll see.
I agree. Yeah, I'm going to sell for sure on BYU. I don't think they're – even with the Cincinnati performance they put on last year and then in the playoff, even if they do go undefeated somehow, I mean, yeah, they might get in, but I don't know, man. I'm not high on them. I haven't watched enough of them, though, either. They did beat a Baylor team who I had in my playoff. And but I'm selling on them pretty heavy. I don't think they're going to make it. They're going to get beat. But if they do undefeated, then – I'll eat my words here, but I think there's no way they make the college football playoff. That's my take on it. Next, moving on, the team out west, will USC go undefeated and win the Pac-12? Landon, what do you think? Are you high on USC? Are you buying them?
On them, I'm selling just because of the road game at Utah. To go undefeated, that road game at Utah is tough. I think Utah is a good team. We saw that. They should have beat Florida. Everyone knows they should have, but they didn't. Now, what's scarier, home against USC or on the road at Florida? And right now, I mean, obviously USC is scary, but the Swamp is a tough place to play. They look like they've been tested already. When you get tested early on, it makes these other games easier. It's going to be later in the Pac-12 season. Same day, October 15th. That's going to be a fun day of college football. We're going to have
October 15th, heck yeah, it is.
That's going to be a lot of ranked games that day. So, I'm going to sell for now. May come back to it later. But, I'm still on Utah, man. I still think Utah's really good. I think they lost to an SEC road environment game. We saw number 1 Alabama have a close game in basically an SEC road environment game. And SEC road games are tough, man, especially when it's typed up and it's a big thing. It's tough to win. So, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say no for right now.
What about you, Devo? You buying Trojans?
USC might win. They honestly might win out the rest of their schedule. I'm definitely interested for that USC Utah game. We'll see. I guess that'll be the make or break game, I feel like. But I think for the most part, they're playing a lot of weak schools. They don't really have that tough of a schedule. So I think they'll be able to do it.
They're in the right conference, undefeated. That's for darn sure.
Yeah.
I've been saying it since the first show, and I'll say it again. I mean, they don't even – their next best game is Notre Dame, which we all know they're falling apart. That is a big rivalry game, a lot of history in Notre Dame-USC game. But I'm actually going to buy them. I think they are going to go undefeated because nobody else.
It's your guy, though. I keep thinking about it. Lincoln Riley's your boy.
I like Lincoln Riley.
That's right.
The Lincoln Riley, Cliff Kingsbury's. I like the coaches that are the young guys that like the high all offensive guys. Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. I like those kind of guys. The old defensive coaches I kind of think are getting washed out. But I mean, he's only. I mean, there's obviously the elite ones, but I'm high on Lincoln Riley. I'm high on a lot of them. I think USC is going to be a playoff contender. Now, if they go undefeated, it's no doubt they're going to get in. But if they get one loss, we'll see. But I do think they'll go undefeated this year. I'm high on the USC Trojans. Here we go. This one I've been looking forward to talking about. We're going to do our top 5 NCAA quarterbacks. Us 3 have our lists.
Okay.
Devo, I want you to go first. Who are your top 5 NCAA quarterbacks in the country?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Mr. Blue. We're going to start off at number 1. We got Stetson Bennett. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Landon, I'm going to need you to sit down. Hold up, sir.
The troll of the year. The troll of the year.
We're going to keep rolling. At 1, we got Stetson Bennett. 2, we got Bryce Young out of Alabama. 3, we got old Sam Carhart. I'm high on the Sam Carhart train. Fresh off of that blood clot coming in, throwing 4 tugs. I'm liking the resilience. Hey, 4, we got Caleb Williams, my boy. 5,
we'll see.
We got the man with the mullet, Quinn Ewers. Even though he will be out 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks, but
I like what I saw against Bama. That was fun.
He looked incredible. All right, Landon's. I don't know. I think Landon's still in shock over here. I think he left the show. He pulled a Stephen A. Smith, left the show.
It happens, bro. The show must go.
Stetson Bennett. Brother Landon never knew he had. All right, calm down. You calm down there. You calm down, Mr. Stidham.
Good.
Whenever you're ready, I want you to rebuttal Mr. Devo here.
I was hoping it'd be over by the time I got back.
It's over. It's already over.
Thank God.
It's all good.
That's
when Georgia comes in and whoops those weak Alabama DBs.
We're not talking about Georgia. We're talking about Stetson Bennett.
We are.
And Bryce Young. Bryce Young. You're telling me if Alabama had Stetson Bennett at quarterback, they still would have won the game this weekend?
I don't think Bryce Young's going to do anything he's doing at Bama if he's at an average school. Bro, he's throwing to 5 stars, 3 deep at every position.
And they're dropping the ball. You're telling me
it is what it is.
Stetson's not?
It is what it is. Stetson's throwing to a bunch of lunch pail guys like Hunter Renfrow. That's for Cockney, brother. That's for Cockney. Get that name in your head.
He had to throw his name in there. He had to throw a lad in there.
Let's go.
Let's look at this.
I think Debo's going to get landing a heart attack by the end of the year. I'm convinced.
I think Stetson Bennett, I think he's a good quarterback.
All right, I'll go ahead and give my list. We'll keep this moving here. Landon's still in shock. I'll keep moving. Number one.
You're so brainwashed because of the Alabama. It's all good.
Number one, without a doubt, right now, is the guy right now for me. Number two.
Hold on, you cut out. We completely.
You cut out bad. You cut out bad.
Completely missed that whole.
All right, am I good now? I think I'm still in Mexico. All right. Am I good now?
Yeah. What's the more?
All right. Number one, Bryce Young. That's guaranteed.
God. Help me out here.
He's number one. I like to troll, but he's number one. He is.
Not just me. This is ridiculous, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. But he's doing it. He's doing it because you're a Bama fan, man.
He's gonna be terrible when he gets to the league. It is what it is. He's a gimmick quarterback.
Oh, you think that's gonna kill it?
It is what it is. I get it. He's playing, bro. You put him at
you think Stetson's gonna go?
He's not doing that. You put him at an average school. He's not doing that.
Yeah, because there's no Bama quarterback doing good in the NFL right now.
There is none. Name me Mac Jones. Mac Jones has one season. Mac Jones last year. Name me any historically good quarterbacks in the NFL from Bama.
Are you joking?
Ooh, name them. I'm waiting. You want to look up like Fran Tarkenton from the '60s? Like I'm waiting for some names. AJ McCarron, Blake Sims. Any of these dudes? Mac Jones got one season last year. That's cool. And they got dog walked today by the Dolphins. Dog walk. They're throwing to wide open receivers. Bro, it's not that hard.
So you're saying it's Matt Jones' fault that the Dolphins are throwing to wide open receivers?
No, but I'm saying Bama does not produce good quarterbacks. Alabama does not produce good NFL quarterbacks. It's the truth. It's just the truth, bro.
Two was Bryce Young on your list, right?
Yeah, he was.
Okay, so you don't even think C.J. Stroud is. So you think Stetson's better than C.J. Stroud?
Yeah. I think C.J. Stroud's garbage. I don't think he's good.
Sam Hartman.
C.J. Stroud is trash.
Anthony Richards. You're telling me all these guys that Stetson Bennett reigns above them all.
C.J. Stroud is trash. Anthony Richards is cool. He made one spinning pass, and everyone thinks he's the Heisman finalist now. And they got beat today, or beat not today, but they got beat by Kentucky. So, it is what it is. Quinn Ewers was balling on Bama until he got hurt. You guys held it. Texas held it in a game with y'all with their second-string quarterback in. That says enough.
And so on the road, and Texas is an SEC school now. So I'm referring to an SEC school. On the road with Sarkisian. Now you understand, the defense coordinator from TCU, dude, did an amazing job. Alabama 100% got out coached this game. Not a knock on Nick Saban. It's just Texas did that great of a job coaching. Officiating, I think it was bad both ways. I'm not blaming it for any part of the game. I think it was bad for Texas and Bama. I think it's both ways.
So can you name me 5 all-pro quarterbacks from Alabama that were all-pro in the NFL?
Give me 5 from South Dakota.
South Dakota, I don't claim South Dakota.
How does any of this back up?
I don't claim South Dakota.
No. How does any of this back up the fact that you're saying, okay, so because there's no great quarterbacks from Alabama in the NFL, you're saying because of that fact, I'm not saying that, you're saying that. You're saying that means Bryce Young is not going to be good in the NFL.
I mean, if that's how you want to take it, then sure.
Is that I'm just trying to understand how you can be dead serious.
Alabama's buddies making like 1, 2, 3, like maybe 1 to 2 reads on like most plays. He's not really having to go through any of his progressions. Like,
yeah, you're right. Bill O'Brien just doesn't know how to run a pro offense or a college offense.
I mean, he kind of sucked in the NFL as a coach for a little bit.
Bill O'Brien? You mean the guy who coached Tom Brady? What?
How do you do as a head coach? How do you do as a head coach? I just want to know. There's a lot of coaches that look good as coordinators. Bill Belichick made a lot of coaches look good. And they go to other teams and coach, and, well, that doesn't end up so well. They end up going back to coach under Bill Belichick. I'm stating facts here. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Sorry. I'm not on the Alabama bike.
I'm trying to say
like that.
When you look at Stetson Bennett, you look at him and you say, you know what? I want that guy over Bryce Young.
I mean, he has a ring. He has a ring, and Bryce Young.
He doesn't have a Heisman, and also he's not.
It is what it is. He's still got a ring.
Find me a mock draft for Stetson Bennett as a draft pick. Find me a mock draft. I can find all of them with Bryce Young. Anybody in their right mind right now?
There's a lot of mock drafts that have quarterbacks touted highly, and they still do trash in the NFL. I mean, look at Baker Mayfield. He was very high for the draft. He lost to Native old team, and he pretty much knows their entire scheme.
Bryce Young. So you're saying Bryce Young, who I think is the best player in college football. So you're saying Stetson Bennett's the best player in college football. I want to hear you say it.
I said he's the best. I think he said he's the best quarterback. This is top quarterbacks, bro.
Okay, who's
nothing to do with the best player in college football.
Dylan, who's the best player in college football right now?
How do we go from top 5 quarterbacks to best player? How do we go from
outside of Will Anderson, who's the best player?
All I want to know is how do we go from top 5 quarterbacks to best player?
Dylan. So 1, 2. Who are the best 2 players in college football? It's who?
It's both of them.
Do any quarterbacks on your list have a ring?
Stetson Bennett is either the first or second best player in college football.
Quarterback.
It's Will Anderson and Bryce Young.
Name two more better than him. Name somebody who's better than Stetson Bennett. Name a position player besides Will Anderson who's better than Stetson Bennett.
Bro, we're talking about quarterbacks. I'm not talking about the league. Out of all the quarterbacks I listed, he's the only one that has a ring. So it is what it is.
Because you have one of the greatest defenses ever.
That's cool. Bryce Young has arguably the best Alabama team of all time. So what does that say?
I thought he was.
I don't think you're going to argue with me.
Let me one second. I'm trying to. So you're saying this because you're saying that Stetson Bennett is better than Bryce Young, and everyone in the right line is saying that. Everyone is saying that number 1 is Will Anderson, number 2 is Bryce Young.
We're talking about quarterbacks, dog. Will Anderson.
I know. I'm talking about but players.
All right. Can I hear your list? I don't really care what you think about mine anymore. Let's just hear your list.
I don't care about my list anymore. I have to think out the window when you said Bryce Young was the best quarterback.
All right, I'm gonna give my list. All right, calm down, psychopaths. All right, here we go.
I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling.
I know. My top 5. Here we go. Bryce Young, number 1. 2, Caleb Williams out of USC. 3, C.J. Stroud, Ohio State. 4, I like this guy. He had an incredible debut. Unfortunately, he got hurt. Mr. Quinn Ewers from Texas. He looked incredible. I like him a lot. And then my dark horse that some people are talking about, but not enough people are talking about, Tyler Van Dyke from Miami. That boy looks really, really good in Miami.
Never even heard of this guy. That's what I like to hear.
Look him up, Devo. Look him up. Miami. All right. Well, Landon, do you want to give your 5 or do I go to the NFL?
Yeah, I can do okay, so I got Bryce Young, who's the best player in college football. This isn't quarterback. Best player is Bryce Young. And it's not even close. It hasn't been close. And this entire season, it will never be close. So Stetson has not won he has not won an actual game this year. He's beat Oregon and Samford. It's nothing compared to on the road at Texas. I did put Quinn Ewers in this list. I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback solely because you understand Texas has been prepping for this game for 3 months. This game has been circled on there. She said, this is the one we're going to – I mean, they had an awesome game plan. And when you get in the SEC, you don't get 3 months to prepare for somebody. You get a week. So that's why Quinn Ewers is not on here. But I got to do 1, Bryce, 2, Caleb Williams, 3 is C.J. Stroud, 4 is Sam Hartman, and then 5, I'm going to go with KJ Jefferson.
Where's
The
he from?
Arkansas boy.
Is he Arkansas?
I like him a lot. I think he don't have his number one guy from last year, but he's still a really good quarterback. And I mean, Cincinnati had a really good defense. They beat them. So I think they're the biggest team to rival Bama in the SEC West. Not really scared of A&M as much as I am because they got to go to Arkansas. So I think that's going to be a good game.
My camera's dying. That's why I'm trying to figure out a way to not mess it up here. But I'm going to keep going. I totally agree. That's a good list. All right, moving on to the NFL. Like I said, week 1 was amazing. We had a lot of good games. One of them I cannot wait to talk about. I'm hyped for it. We're gonna do kind of like a buy or sell, but we're gonna do it on our NFL type take. We're gonna do for real or fraud. Is this player or is this team for real or are they a fraud from their week 1 performance? We're jumping in to the most impressive performance of week 1. The Minnesota Vikings beating the Green Bay Packers. What they just did to that team in a rivalry game, taking Aaron Rodgers and saying, you are not doing anything today. Minnesota Vikings, are they for real or are they fraud? Landon, what do you think of the Minnesota Vikings?
I'm still on the Bryce Young thing, so I'm trying to switch gears. But, yeah, I think –
we can't talk college football anymore. You boys are getting too
I
fired up.
think Minnesota's for real. I think Minnesota's legit. I think I think he's good. I like their entire offense. But the one thing I liked a lot was that defense. That was the issue last year. They could score points. Kurt had a big game today and played well. And if you can get that out of him and more consistency out of the defense, I mean, it's like we all said, they can win that division. And, you get a home playoff game, you can do a lot from there. So I think Minnesota's for real.
Debo, what do you think? Sorry, I'm trying to fix this camera thing.
I mean, so you mean are they for real or are they frauders in the sense that they're going to make the playoffs or win the division, or what do you mean by that?
Both. I mean, yeah, I think they're a contender team from what you saw this week.
I mean, I don't really.
Playoff contender and the whole deal.
I'm not really high on the Minnesota Vikings. They're playing a super weak Packers team. It is what it is. The Packers roster is horrible right now. I wouldn't say horrible, but their offense is, not good. Minnesota capitalized on it. Minnesota's got a great defense, but I don't know. We'll see when it comes. They still got to go through some tough NFC teams, and then in the playoffs, I don't know if they'll be able to. I don't know. I don't think they'll be able to match any of those teams. We'll see. I think today was kind of a fluke, but it is what it is.
All right.
I will never pick Kirk Cousins to win anything.
These boys right here are 100% for real. Every single game the Green Bay Packers and the Vikings play is always close because of that stupid man named Aaron Rodgers who always keeps it close no matter who they got. Yes, they're down at receiver, but the defense was the number one issue for them last year, the secondary. And we finally got pressure on him for the first time. We never get pressure on Aaron Rodgers. His jersey is always just as clean as it is when he puts it on, as it would at the end of the game every single time. He never gets touched. We sacked him 4 times. The Minnesota Vikings are back. Kevin O'Connell, an offensive-minded head coach. Finally, we have one. I liked Mike Zimmer, but he didn't players, and he didn't. We never had a good offense. Offense never worked. We have like a base offense every single year. Kevin O'Connell has completely changed our offense. We have all the weapons. 2 great backs. Minnesota Vikings are the real deal. They're winning the division 100%. I am biased, but they're going to win it. There's no doubt. So here we go. Number 2. Are the Bengals in trouble? Is that a for real take or is it a fraud take, Landon?
it's fraud tape. I think the Bengals are frauds, mainly because they had one issue this offseason, and that was the offensive line. And they talked about how they fix it and all this stuff. I get it. Steelers have a good defense. I'm gonna say frauds right now. Next week they're gonna go into Jerry's world, and we're not gonna see Dak Prescott, so we're not gonna get to see him face a legit, team. So give it a couple weeks. Let's see where they're at. Look, they still got to play Baltimore. They've still got to play Pittsburgh again at Pittsburgh. They still got a tough division. I think they still got to play Cleveland too. So, and when you think of those three teams, you think of a good secondary and good defensive lines. So if they don't get that fixed offensive line, it could be rough for the Bengals to pull it out this year.
Debo, what do you got in the Bengals?
I think the Bengals are for real. Honestly, from what I saw today, first of all, you got to think of who they played. They played an amazing defensive line, probably the best defensive line. One of the top defensive lines are going to play this year. They had TJ, they had Cam. They got that defense is loaded. Minka played an insane game, but you saw when TJ got injured, tore his pec, came out of that game. The Bengals started kind of come back, and they were driving down the field. Jamar Chase was looking real good. Joe Shiesty was looking good. Other than their kicker fumbling the bag, their long snapper, not really their kicker, but they didn't have their backup long snapper, and they hit that field goal. That's a whole different ball game. I think the Bengals, for real, they look real good. They struggled, but for playing against as good as a defense as they did, I think they're solid. I think against other teams, they're going to blow teams out.
I think, this game, this segment we're doing, for real or fraud, makes me pick the fraud thing is such a negative connotation because I don't think the Bengals are frauds, but I don't think they're making the playoffs. And for the Bengals season last year, if they don't make the playoffs, that's a waste of a year. That's a failed year. So I think the Ravens will win the division, and then the Bengals might compete for the number 2s for a wild card spot. But I'm going to say fraud because I don't think they're going to win the division, and they may not make the playoffs. Because they're a good team, but they made so many. I know it's week 1; they made a lot of mistakes today. But Mitch Trubisky is the quarterback of the Steelers, and I know Joe Burrow had a bad game. I know the line was did not do well, but they got to get something figured out. They have a lot to figure out in Cincinnati. I know it's week 1; they had a lot of rust, but I think they're. I got to say fraud because I don't think they're going to be. They're not going to be the same team they were a year ago. I don't believe so.
I think the Steelers are in trouble. They had 5 turnovers and barely won that.
I was laughing just then during the take. It wasn't because of Debo. I laughed because I texted Blake. And I said, dude, you don't believe what Debo just said. He's like, what?
You can't let it go, Debo. You can't let it go.
Dude just said Stetson Bennett's the best quarterback in college football. He said, that freaking hurts.
It's all good. All right.
Oh, I can't wait for the Georgia-Bama game. Oh, buddy. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, I think
Stetson Bennett's going to throw for like 400 on you. Oh, Lad McConkey, bro. He's going to go off. Hey, that lunch film, man, is going to go off.
I think we're the only show in the country that talks about Lad McConkey.
I don't know about that one. You might want to put that name in the checkbook, buddy. He's going to be balling out later this season.
Shout out, no shout out.
Shout out, no shout out.
For real. All right, next. The Buffalo Bills. Are they the best team in the NFL? If you believe so, say for real. If they're not the best team in the NFL, say fraud. Landon, what do you think?
I'll say for real just based off week 1. We're going to do our top 5 NFL teams in a second, and there's 2 teams that I think compete with them. I'll give them the edge because they beat the Super Bowl champs at their place. Now, the Rams, this is the same Rams team as last year. They look down. They're without some good receivers, without some good defenders. So, and they turn the ball over a lot. That's what really scares me. And teams who do that, it kind of looks like Kansas City did last year. They were kind of turning the ball over a lot. So we'll see how it goes. But for right now, I guess I'll say the for real.
Debo, what do you think about the Bills? You high on them?
Yeah, I think they're for real.
They're your number one team in the NFL right now?
Yep. As of week 1, yeah. Yeah, Josh Allen looks good.
Yeah, dude, he's teabagging players. The most ridiculous video I've ever seen. That was so ridiculous. But yeah, no. Right now, I have the Bills as the best team in the playoff, best team in the NFL. Until they get beat by somebody, and until we see them in a bad performance, extending a couple of bad performances. Right now, fully loaded, and they are. I think they're the best team in the NFL right now. Until they get knocked, their throne. I think it's right now. They are the level of football they're playing is unbelievable. Stephon Diggs is rolling. Von Miller's playing like Von Miller of the Broncos. He had a great game. I'm high on the Bills. I never thought I'd say the Bills were the best team in the NFL, but this year, right now, they are. This is the next question. I'm not a big fan of this guy. I never really have been. So it's kind of a fun one for me. Ramsey's week 1 performance or lack thereof, was that a fraudulent performance? Was that kind of like a fluke? I'm going to say for real or fluke. Was that a fluke performance of Jalen Ramsey, the 127 yards and 2 touchdowns for Stephon Diggs? Or is this a dead and wall Jalen Ramsey? What do you think, Landon?
I think it's a fluke. I don't think it's a for real thing. I think that Jalen Ramsey's still the best corner in the NFL. I don't think it's close. I still think he's the best 2 defenders in the NFL are still on the Rams. I still believe that. Man, it's tough. He went against who we are all saying the best team in the NFL is. He got burnt on a go route by Stephon Diggs. He looked bad. I'm not going to act like he didn't. But I don't think after one game we can just say that after all he's done the last few years that one game is going to make him, a fraud. So.
What do you think, Debo?
I think it's a fluke. That little comeback route that they caught him on, that Josh Allen threw that perfect back shoulder ball. You literally can't guard that any better. He was on him. You literally can't guard it any better without getting a flag. That was just a perfect ball in a perfect spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a fluke. I think he'll bounce back. He owned up to it. He didn't make any excuses. And I think he'll be back.
Yeah, I think so too. I think one bad performance isn't gonna decide his season. He has 16 games left to show what he's got. I think cornerback. This might be a hot take on this part, but outside of quarterback, I think cornerback is the hardest position to play in the NFL because of all the penalties you can get and all the cornerback not an island and the rules are against you with penalties and everything else. I think it's a tough position to play. Anybody can get got on any given night. I mean, look at Eli Apple. He's still got a job on the same team, and he butchers. I mean, he has a bad game every other game in the NFL. It's an absolute. Jalen Ramsey is. I think next week. I don't know they play. I got to look, but I bet he has an incredible performance, and I bet he locks somebody up. All right, this one right here coming up is for my man Landon. We're going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for this one. Is Julio Jones back? Or is he going to be the Tennessee Titans Julio Jones and be a fraudulent Julio Jones? Debo, I want you to go first. Who do you got? What do you think of Julio Jones? Is he for real or is he a fraud?
He's for real. I don't think he ever left. I just think it was the situation in Tennessee. I don't think was just working out for him for whatever reason. But he's got a whole new juice under him now. He looked real good. He's definitely back.
What about you, Landon?
I like Julio a lot. Seeing Tom Brady and Julio 10 years ago would have been awesome. That's the first thing I said when he joined. The first thing I said was, they're not going to be this. This isn't Julio Jones, right? And then the first thing we hear last week is Julio looks like old Julio, and Tom Brady's throwing the ball better than he's ever had. And tonight was scary. In the red zone, they didn't get it done. That's my only thing about tonight I didn't like. I mean, Julio Jones, 3 catches, 69 yards. And then he had – well, I liked a lot. They had 2 jet sweeps. Something that we don't see Julio do. He's a huge guy, but Julio's fast. So getting to see Tampa kind of put him in that offense and put him in situations that would make the defense uncomfortable. And also that set up a lot of good play actions and open the run game up more because you got to get wider with big guys running jet sweeps. So, yeah, I think Julio's back. I think he's back, and I think he's good. If he can stay healthy, that's the question.
Yeah, I've been saying it since the moment we did our preseason picks of players. I think Julio Jones is all the way back. I think that connection with Tom Brady, he couldn't have went to a better spot. The only other spot that I wish he could have went. I mean, I'm glad he didn't go to, but I thought either Green Bay or Tampa, and he went to one of those two. So I'm very thankful he went to Tampa Bay and not Green Bay because Green Bay sucks. So Julio all the way. I think he's all the way back. I think he's going to be pretty darn good with all the rest of the weapons they got. I mean, geez, they got weapons. Holy cow, Tampa Bay is loaded with weapons.
Yeah, the defense looks really good.
They do.
They played in the thing is the past few years. The one that scared me last year was the secondary, and they played great. I know Dallas was down a few guys, but they defended the run well. They turned the ball over. They did a lot of things. They look like they did 2 years ago. The Super Bowl defense. So we'll see if they can keep it up.
How bad did Dallas look? My gosh.
And then they just lost Dak for a couple weeks. So I think it's chopped up. I think Philly's winning the division.
100%.
Hey, Dallas is not winning the division anymore.
Well, no, I think everybody else in their division won today, didn't they? Commanders won. The Giants had a crazy good second half. Saquon. I mean,
that's what I was going to throw in. I wanted to throw one more in there. It was Saquon. I think Saquon.
Saquon's back.
Awesome.
I think he's back because the second
half. I think so too.
Dude, and look, I don't even know who this New York Giants coach is, but man, down 13-0 coming back and go for the win. I love it. Like that's what I like to see. I've been told by coaches that I've been around that in situations like that you always go for two, always go for the win, and to get to see that and you go to the best player on the field besides Derrick Henry, with Saquon Barkley today, and I think the Giants just got the ball last with more time than they did. So
yeah, another player I like this week, Michael Thomas coming in with 2 touchdowns.
Fantasy team. He's on mine. So
heck yeah. All right. The final for real or fraud. I got to say his name. He's a very hot topic in the NFL right now. I'm going to let Debo go first on this one. Tua Tagovailoa for real or fraud after his really good week 1 performance against the Patriots.
Hey, you gotta.
Landon's left. Landon's go left the screen.
I haven't even watched that game. I haven't watched the highlights on that. I couldn't get it at work. I was trying to watch it. I struggled to watch the highlights in that game, to be honest. What did you guys think?
I think Tua. someone's getting dunked on here.
That is awesome.
Landon, you getting dunked on by your roommates right now? Landon gets dunked on. That's our title. Landon gets dunked on in today's episode. That's hilarious. All right, Landon. For real or fraud?
I don't know. Tua, dude, for real. As long as he's got Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, 2 of the fastest receivers in the NFL, he looked good. Look, who is the worst if you are a young quarterback or a fresh new team, rookie head coach? Who is the one guy you don't want to face in week 1?
Mr. Belichick.
It's Mr. Belichick because he's smart. He knows what to do. He knows what to draw up, and I think he threw a lot of things at him today. Poor Mac, man. Mac. I think he had a good game. He had 2 turnovers. One of them he just fumbled. Blake said, "Can I read this?" Blake had something.
Yeah, go for it. Let it rip.
He said about Bryce Young. He wanted Debo to know this. He said, "This is the most ridiculous take." He said, "Ludicrous take ever since Colin Cowherd said Tom Brady was done in 2011." I'm with Tua. I think Tua's good. I think he's legit. The only issue with Tua is those boys in Buffalo are still in his division. So if they can split with Buffalo, then things get a lot more interesting in that division. But I don't think it's going to happen. But I'm with Tua. I think the Dolphins are a playoff team. if that's what the question, with Tua is he for real? I think he's for real. I think he's going to.
Yeah, I think Tua's good enough for sure to carry them to a wild card position. I think they have it, and they have the offense to do it this year. They looked incredible against a scary bad looking Patriots team. They looked rough, but I think Tua can do it. He gets a lot of hate because of how good he was in college, but I think things are going to turn on in Miami. I think they are going to be a contender for the wild card spot for sure. I'm not like super high on Tua, but I think his ceiling is going to raise up a little bit in other people's eyes for sure.
He finished with 23 for 33 with 270 on Belichick defense.
Is that 3 touchdowns or how many you have?
They have one.
You only have 1 touchdown?
Well, they only scored 20 points.
That's true. I guess I didn't look at the touchdowns. I know
Here's
it's 270 for
Here's the important stat is turnovers. No turnovers, which will he take care of the ball? If Tua takes care of the ball, it changes everything for them.
Yeah, for real. You got anything, Debo? What do you think about Tua?
I haven't seen the game yet. I still gotta watch the highlights.
All right, cool. Moving on. We're gonna do this pretty quick, and then we'll get into my favorite segment after this. We're gonna do our top 5 NFL teams after week 1. Debo, who you got for your top 5 teams after week 1?
I got Bills, Tampa, Chargers, Colts, and then Chiefs.
Colts number 4. Colts number 4. That's a bold statement.
That's what it is.
I feel it. Landon's gonna have a heart attack. All right, I'll go to mine. We'll keep it civil. Number 1, got Buffalo. 2, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 3, I like this team's performance. Everybody's kind of putting them down and out because of a certain somebody leaving. But I like the Kansas City Chiefs, number 3, man. They look incredible.
I think we have the same list.
4, I got the Los Angeles Rams.
We don't have the same list.
I still like the Rams in there. I think they had a tough opponent in the Bills. And number 5, the Minnesota Vikings, baby. They're all the way there.
We're this close to having the same thing. I'm going to say we did because we had the same exact list. 1, 2, 3, and 5 is the exact same.
Okay.
And I have a Los Angeles team, just not the Rams.
Chargers. That was my team in there with the Rams and the Chargers. We basically.
I do Vikings 5. I'm going to go Chargers. Chargers. Look, the Raiders are good, and the Raiders were down that game early. And look, if there was one more quarter, the Raiders would have came back and won that game. I think they're starting to figure it out, and it's tough when you have a lot of new guys. You're in a tough division. They're going to figure it out. I really think they will. But for this week, I like the Chargers. I think Justin Jefferson's good. If they lost Keenan Allen, he's out. But based off today, I like him a lot. If Keenan Allen's out, look for the Raiders just to compete with Kansas City. But I like Kansas City a lot. Kansas City surprised a lot of us, I think. We didn't think they were going to go in and put on that at Arizona. Tampa looks good. I think Tampa's just going to get better and better. I think it's going to be Tampa and Bills. I think that was my prediction at the start of the year. I think Debo had Buffalo and the Rams. And who'd you have, Dill?
For my top 5?
For your Super Bowl prediction.
Oh, Super Bowl. I had Buccaneers and Chargers. Buccaneers and Chargers.
Chargers, okay. Interesting. But, yeah. So you think that the Colts –
I knew we had to get to it.
The Colts. Debo.
Yeah.
You think the Colts are the 4th best team in the NFL right now?
Yeah. They got a solid roster, and they actually have a good quarterback. That's not Carson Wentz.
Did you watch the game today?
You watched the game?
Yeah. Hey, it is what it is. We'll see.
They didn't win today.
One game. I don't care. It's one game. It's a 17-game season. We'll see. Trust me.
Fair enough.
We're not talking about quarterback. We're talking about roster.
Yeah.
Davis Mills had 2 tutties today, 240 yards.
Hey,
you know who the leading rusher was for the Texans? This is going to make everyone crack up. Guess who the leading rusher was?
Brandon
Rex
Cooks.
Burkhead.
Oh, really? Hey, don't knock Rex Burkhead.
I love Rex. No, bro, Rex is my guy.
Don't knock Rex Burkhead.
I love Rex. But like, dude, I don't know, man. To say Indianapolis, to say Chargers, Vikings, to say the Colts are better than them, to say that, dude, to say they're better than the Vikings after today.
I don't like the Vikings. It is what it is.
They beat A-Rod.
That's cool.
They spanked A-Rod.
The Packers roster is horrible.
They lost. Who they lose besides Devontae Adams? Who they lose?
The main part of their offense that pretty much opened everything else up.
They lost to Darius Smith, and that boy had a day against old A-Rod today. All right, moving on to my favorite segment we do all the time because I love talking where people went to college. We got Guess the College, Legends Edition, NFL Legends Edition, all NFL legends. You guys are going to get 7 each and then a bonus question. We'll start with Debo, number 1. We'll start off. These are both pretty decently easy. Number 1, Troy Polamalu for Debo.
I know this. USC.
Yep. Landon.
Really?
Yeah, USC Trojan.
I honestly.
A lot of Polynesians go to USC, man. Landon. Randy Moss.
Marshall, wasn't it?
Yeah, Marshall. Now those are both pretty easy.
Yeah, those are both really easy.
Debo, this guy didn't play in the NFL, I don't think, but he is a legend. I have to throw him in there. If I gave it to Landon, he'd know it right away. But legendary coach, Nick Saban. Where did he play his college football? This is kind of unfair, but I just wanted to throw it in there because it's Nick Saban.
Yeah, it's unfair. I can steal it. Debo, you're muted, buddy.
Yeah, I can't hear you, Debo. I was like, I thought I was losing my mind.
It's a small school. I think it's like a super small.
Hey, you went to a small school.
Yeah, it's like Southern United Methodist. I don't know.
Can I get it?
Go ahead, Debo. Go ahead, Len.
Kent State.
Kent State. Defensive back.
Kent State.
Kent State.
Wow.
That was kind of tough. All right. Landon.
Okay.
One of my top 10 favorite players of all time.
Lunch pail guy?
No. Champ Bailey. I love Champ Bailey.
SEC.
Yes.
The red is in the colors, I know. It's Georgia.
It is Georgia. Champ Bailey went to Georgia. All right, Debo.
Woo!
One of the legendary lunch pail guys who got stuck on a terrible football team his entire NFL career, Joe Thomas, legendary offensive tackle for the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, boy.
I feel like I'm giving people the tough ones today. I'm sorry.
You gotta do your.
Is it a Big Ten school?
It is a Big Ten school.
I know this because wasn't he the guy who played like so many games, started like so many games consecutively?
Oh my
so.
God.
He's one of them, yeah.
Yeah, I know what it is then.
Oh my God.
We talked about it on the show when we were talking about Minnesota.
This team produces linemen at a pretty
It wasn't Iowa,
serious rate.
And running back.
Or was it Wisconsin?
What'd you say?
Wisconsin or Iowa?
Wisconsin. It is Wisconsin. Joe Thomas with Wisconsin.
That's
A
fire.
little known fact about Joe Thomas. He, his now wife, he stole from a guy who was out on a date at Wisconsin. He just stole a dude's girl, and now he married her.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Sweet alpha move by old Joe Thomas.
Well,
all right.
That's a high IQ player right there.
Yeah, that's sneaky athletic move right there.
Yeah.
All right. Landon, also a lunch pail guy. Legendary safety, John Lynch.
Ooh.
Sean Lynch.
He's also the GM for the 49ers this year.
Does Debo know it?
I know it.
I know it's
Arkansas?
I know it's Pac-12. It's Pac-12.
Arkansas?
It is Pac-12.
Oh, never mind.
Give me a guess, Landon.
USC.
Stanford.
Stupid.
Oh,
All right, Debo.
okay.
We're going way back with this for this one. Not way back, but decently old.
All right.
Joe Namath.
Oh God.
Can I steal it if he doesn't get it?
Is it SEC?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it
This is perfect.
I want to say Ole Miss maybe?
Can I
That's
steal
your guess,
it?
Ole Miss.
Ellis.
I'll give you one more guess. Not Ole Miss. One more guess.
I don't know. You tell me.
Can I guess it?
I've held this one back when you were talking about it.
I
'Cause you
know.
brought it up.
He said this earlier, and I was just like, he's joking. You can't be serious. Can I answer it?
Go ahead, Landon. Go ahead.
You know where Joe Namath played at the University of Alabama, right?
He went to Alabama.
I did actually know.
He went to Alabama. You were talking about who were the top, like all-pro players that ever come out of Alabama, and I wanted to say Joe Namath, but I knew this segment was coming, so I couldn't say it.
That's what I said. Besides anybody in the '60s.
All right, Landon. This one might be easy, but he's a player that I really like.
Okay.
Brett Favre,
Oh.
Bro. Southern Miss.
Mhm.
Southern Miss.
Because he beat Alabama.
Really?
He beat Alabama. He was a freshman, I'm pretty sure, and no one knew he was Brett Favre yet.
Mhm.
But yeah, lunch pail guy.
Definitely lunch pail.
Definitely a lunch pail guy in an era
You guys-
of not lunch pail guys.
He's like the grittiest of the gritty.
Yeah, no, for sure. What's the
Lunch pail guy.
Everything's rough.
You guys know what NFL team drafted him? A little trivia question.
Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Atlanta Falcons.
I don't know.
All right. Debo,
Yeah.
the man that should never carry a firearm ever again. Plaxico Burress.
John Gruden.
Georgia.
Plaxico Burress?
Yeah, Georgia. Ohio State.
I'll give you a hint. Big Ten.
Ohio State.
Nope. Michigan State.
I about to say
Really?
Michigan.
Plaxico Burress. That shooting himself story is still one of the
What's the score?
The score? Let me total it up here.
Probably like 3-1.
Debo's got 2, and Landon's got 3.
Well, I got which one? I got John.
You got Randy Champ Bailey, and Brett Favre, and Debo got
Oh,
Polamalu
Joe
and Joe Thomas.
I got Nick Saban and Joe Namath.
Yeah, but those aren't. I mean, those.
Yeah.
I want to keep it close. All right, Landon.
Okay.
One of the top 3 tight ends ever. Tony Gonzalez.
Is it SEC?
No.
Why do I know this?
It's a Pac-12 school. Played at California. That's what it was.
Where'd he play?
Cal.
California.
Okay.
That's fire.
I about said South Cal, but I'm glad I didn't.
All right, Debo.
I almost said Georgia. Oh, wow.
Another tough, gritty. I didn't realize how many guys I put in here. Player.
Of
Old
course,
school,
I know
run
lunch pail guys.
through your face mask. Mike Allstott.
Bro, that's the one dude I don't know, bro. I actually don't know.
I didn't know it either. I had to look it up. This one.
I have no clue. What do you think? What is it?
Big.
Big Ten.
Purdue.
Who'd you say, Debo?
Purdue.
Purdue.
That's
Purdue with the guess, with the lucky guess.
that is wild, bro.
Purdue Boilermaker. All right, Landon.
Okay.
Legendary offensive tackle. I had to give Debo a tackle, so I gave you a tackle.
I probably don't know this one.
Jonathan Ogden. Legend. NFL top 100.
What team did he play for?
The Baltimore Ravens forever.
Okay, dude, I probably don't know him.
He's a dog. He was a dog.
Yeah, I probably don't. I don't know who that is.
Debo, can you steal?
What conference?
I'll give Landon the first guess. Pac-12. Then you can steal, Debo.
All right.
I'll just say Arizona.
No. Debo to steal.
I want to say Oregon.
He also went to Cal.
Really?
Yeah.
Guys.
Would not have guessed that.
Big lunch pail school.
All right. For the final round before the bonus, I gave both of you guys legendary wide receivers.
Okay.
Sorry.
Debo,
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison.
Oh, buddy. Oh. Miami, right?
No.
What?
I have no idea.
I'll give you your conference.
Okay.
ACC.
Clemson?
Nope. He was the Big Orange.
Boston College.
He was the Big Orange. Syracuse.
That's crazy. Would not have guessed.
Right? All right. Landon, I should have thought about the list a little more. You might know this one. I think we've talked about it before. Terrell Owens.
That's
Terrell Owens. Okay.
Theo.
You have talked to me about this.
I have talked to you about this one. I feel after I put it down, I shouldn't have done it.
It's not a popular school, is it?
No.
No, it's not. It's like it's small.
Keep those eyes up. Don't be cheating, boys.
I think I know actually though.
Dude, no, I know. Oh, dude, I know this. So my college UNA plays Chattanooga this weekend.
It's Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Tennessee at Chattanooga.
I told them we were talking about it. I talked about this one in the student section this week, and they said we were playing Chattanooga next week. Someone was like, "Yeah, that's where T.O. played college ball at."
Yeah.
I would not have known that if they didn't say that. So
Tennessee at Chattanooga. All right.
My phone died.
So Landon, we're sitting at, I think you have 5 points, and Devo has, I believe, 3 points.
Yeah.
We're gonna make the bonus worth 5 points.
Okay.
Of course.
No, we'll do 3 points to make it so Devo can win on the last one.
Right.
But if Landon gets it, then he wins.
All right.
Make it respectable. Make it fun.
Yeah.
Devo.
Yeah.
Another legendary receiver.
Okay.
Mr. Jerry Rice.
Oh my God. Fresno? No, not Fresno State.
It's a nobody school.
Dude, I've never even heard of him.
It's some no-name school. I don't know.
That's why it's the bonus.
I'm from the South. I know this.
Mary Baptist Church of Tennessee.
How did you know that?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
No, Landon, do you know it?
It's like Mississippi Valley something.
Mississippi Valley State. That's pretty good, Landon.
That's fire.
I know. We talked about it before because I thought he went to a bigger school and he didn't.
No, I went to a small one.
I know Mississippi Valley. I knew it was a bunch of other stuff, but I know it was.
All right, Landon, with the final question of the deal.
Okay.
Another legend that we've all heard of. Walter Payton.
Can I get the conference?
I have no idea.
Okay, so it's a nobody school.
Yeah. It's not a nobody school, but it's not a.
Okay, we need to stop saying nobody school. That's probably disrespectful. It's definitely like it's not Power 5.
Group of 5.
Yeah, it's a school that I honestly don't know what it is.
Is it in the ASUN East?
It's the NSIC, bro. You probably know what that is, Debo. Landon probably doesn't know what that is.
Is it like Northern State in them?
Yeah, it's like the northern. Yeah, that's like all the D2 schools from.
I have no idea. I'm just gonna go ahead and out in the limb. I'm gonna say it's.
I'll give you guys a hint.
Okay.
Not a lot of lunch pail guys come out of this university.
Okay, I can't say this. I can't answer this question. I'm gonna.
Adams State.
Who's your guess, Landon?
I'm trying to think of who doesn't have a lot of lunch program.
I'm going to let both of you guys guess, then I'm going to give you guys hints until you figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know. Give me the next.
Typical New York.
No. This team has made a lot of waves in the last couple of years.
The Tulane.
No. Debo, who's your guess?
I have no clue. What do you mean they made waves? Like,
Hey, is it
They've been in the news a lot.
I
Bishop
don't know. I honestly don't. I don't know.
Bishop Sycamore?
No, that's a high school. That's funny.
Yeah, that sounds
Not a high school.
No, it's not a high school actually, but
All right. They have a legend NFL player as their head coach.
is it Jackson State?
It's Jackson State.
Dude,
That's
I was about
funny.
to say it, but I was like, no, surely it's not Jackson State.
Yeah, Jackson State.
Right.
Well, our winner this week is Landon Stidham.
Hey, good job, Landon.
All
All right. Let's tie this thing up. We've gone long enough. Debo, you got any final remarks for everybody watching?
You guys should be impressed because I am doing a draft right now for a league that I paid like $200 on. So I'm on that right now.
What do you got? Give us the inside scoop. Well, here, no, let's stay on. I'll help you draft a couple.
It's an NBA like 2K like fantasy league.
Ooh, that's fire.
Yeah.
Who you got so far?
My first picks were Trae Young and Jaren Jackson Jr.
Is it all current players?
Yeah.
How many teams? All 30, 32? I don't know in the NFL. I mean NBA.
No, there's only like 15. It's only like 25 games on the schedule.
Is it like Marcus and them, or who's all in it?
No, it's just a bunch of random dudes I met on Twitter.
Your first pick is Trae Young.
Yeah.
I can see why you picked Stetson.
What pick did you have? Number
Like
two?
six.
Okay.
All the good players were taken. All the first players were users, so they were all the good players were taken, like Harden and all them.
In 2K, who are like the top five that usually always go? I don't play video games that often. But who?
KD, LeBron, Giannis, Luka, Joe. I don't know, like those guys.
We need to start a Madden or whatever. I need to get a system. When that happens, we need to start like our own like draft. Get Blake in on it. Get like a couple of guys and like have a little league. That'd be kind of fun.
We'll do it. We'll do it soon. All right.
Landon, you got any last final remarks?
Bryce Young. I can't wait to do a poll about Bryce Young because Bryce Young's the best player in college football. He was last year. He is this year. It hurts.
Yeah, I think that one kind of left you a little bit of that one affected you a little bit.
I just didn't think he told me he might say something crazy, but I didn't. That's not the one thing you could say that I'm like, that's not even debatable.
Fair enough. Well, my final remarks are this. With the upcoming week, we're trying to figure it out, but we might be bringing on a special guest for this week. I call him the mad scientist, future doctor, Levi McKercher, one of my best friends. Debo knows him really well. So in order for the Oklahoma-Nebraska game this week, we're going to bring on a Nebraska alum who's going to go in for his doctorate. He's going to talk some football. We're going to talk about Scott Frost. We're going to talk about all things Nebraska. Talk about some of our old stories of me and him in college. I don't want to get into it. There's a few videos that have floated around that I don't want to get out, but you never know what Debo can do. He's got a few things of me in not a very positive light that may or may not come out this week. We'll see. But tune in either Wednesday or Friday. Trying to figure out the logistics of what's going to happen. But look out for the mad scientist this week. Dr. Levi McKercher. He's got a lot to talk about, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yes,
Thank you guys for tuning in. And, hey, we are the show for you guys, and we are just like you, a bunch of fans that don't know what we're talking about. Peace, guys.
Stetson Bennett's the GOAT.